International Women's Day celebrates the economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. In 2024, we're specifically talking about investing in women. Well, Kiran Maraj, a media mogul and also the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, is here with us to talk about this day, the significance of this day, and what it means to her and also the rest of Trinidad and Tobago. How do you perceive the role of women in driving economic growth and innovation in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly in the realm of commerce? Where you sit, you have a better idea.
We are on the right track because what you have seen is an explosion of women-owned businesses. And I think that speaks volumes for where we are headed as Trinidad and Tobago. And even among our Caribbean neighbors, our cousins, you've been seeing a lot more women stepping out into the world of work and taking chances. However, I want to put a caveat to that. There is still a lot of inequality when it comes to access to things like capital. The opportunities where people would want to invest in women-owned businesses. Most of these are smaller businesses, MSMs. And so I think that is part of the challenge we still face. So when you look at these women who are probably starting things within their homes as a micro or small, and then how do they get the funding to scale? It's still difficult, especially if they're living at home with their husband. So they may be starting up this small business, but if the light bill or the telephone bill is in the husband's name and they need to open a bank account, it's still a challenge. Some women also don't want to give up their family life and take the big risks. And I think we are paving the way for a lot of women to be more involved in leadership roles. The Chamber has had, female CEOs previously, and one very strong one, Catherine Kumar. When I was in school, she was a role model figure for me. And so the opportunity I had was one that I did not take for granted at all. And I accepted willingly because I saw it as a way for me to also contribute to my country.
Your journey, did you have to still challenge some stereotypes?
I still have to challenge stereotypes. The journey isn't over. I think having a unisex name also puts you in a predicament. Sometimes you're going to, oh, you're a woman. So, well, last time I checked, I am. But, I don't let those things put me down. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. And I think that's the first thing we need to do. We need to respect each other as human beings first. And once we do that, then we can better stand up for who we are, what we believe in, and build the confidence that we need. So I think that, as I said, the barriers that you put on yourself, the only barriers. You need to rise above that at all times. And you would have experienced that, Hema, many times in your life.
And I know when we get to the mentorship, I would give a little story about Kiran and myself. But I do want to talk also obviously you will put your personal stamp to the leadership of the Chamber. Specifically, you spoke about leadership roles, women, and where they find a space. Have you or what is the Chamber doing to assist in addressing that gap?
So many years ago, the Chamber took a conscious decision to ensure that we embrace the diversity within the Chamber. So, 20 years ago, you would not have had many female board members. Now, almost half of our board is female. I mean, typically in Trinidad, I think is 1 out of 5 board members is female, and we've been doing that also through our committees. You'll find that there's more gender balance on our committees. So you are seeing a lot of initiatives that are built in, not that we've said here's a policy guideline, but because everybody who's involved recognizes that we need to have this sense of equality and we need to support our women.
I want to pick up that point, support our women, because in 2024, some people will say, is this day still relevant? There's so many laws, we talk invest women, but people are going to say that's the capital market. Everyone has access to the same programs, same initiatives. Is it still relevant? Why do we invest in women? Why do we need this to invest in women?
Hema, I know that you're a new mommy, so you would have recently seen the birth registration paper and the birth certificate. Is woman's or mother's occupation, is mother's occupation listed on it?
No.
Why do we need a day?
Well, that is true. I know earlier in our conversation, Kiran, you spoke about mentorship and networking, and I would like to publicly say Kiran is one of those women who influenced my career, one of my first bosses in media many years ago. But talking about mentorship, do women really understand the importance of showing that vulnerability to other women? And do the older heads or the more experienced, let me use more experience, those who have walked the path before, do they embrace that responsibility of saying, I am here, I have to take you with me or show you the way you have with me?
Yeah, I think some have. I mean, and I still mentor, but I have seen growth in the number of women who mentor, especially other women. But I think it's important for us to recognize that the mentorship is not just mentorship in terms of the work aspect, but even within the homes and within the communities, right? Mentorship covers, yes, it covers your career, but it covers the advice you would give. It would cover, you know, the perspectives that you're going to share or the insights to let other young women learn and understand. The ways of the world I learned from my father, and the humility of heart I learned from my mother. And I think that is why I'm probably where I am today, mentally and emotionally. And you have to understand you are going to fail. So most people tend to think about failures, women in particular. We tend to think
we beat ourselves up.
All eyes are on us,
yes.
And if we fail, what happens? You have to accept that you are going to have failures. I have had failures, you have had failures. But you know what? Failure is important because that's the only way you're going to learn and grow. So you have to be comfortable with that, and you have to learn to let things go.
On this day, recognizing women, investing in women, you sit as the head of one of the largest business entities in Trinidad and Tobago. What is your message to all of the women of Trinidad and Tobago today?
Believe in yourself, don't give up, understand that you deserve the respect and you are worth it. Mentor at least one woman, make it a promise.
Make it a promise, Kieran. Thank you so much. And again, we're celebrating women on the occasion or recognizing International Women's Day. Invest in women.